Cheat codes are generally there to make life easier for us players. Why spend hours working away in The Sims when you can just type motherload to get loads of money? Yes, now my sim is going to have 2 chairs. Extravagance. But other cheats aren't quite as useful. In fact, they're worse than useless in that they actively harm your experience of the game. Oh man, get ready to be disappointed by these 7 terrible cheat codes that made everything worse.
In the demo. You look for an ass whooping?
Grand Theft Auto games often involve the mob, but what if they involved a mob? This is a question that can be answered in the cheats of Grand Theft Auto 3. Alongside the vast majority of codes that of course make the game easier, there's also one cheat in particular that renders the game nigh on unplayable. If you type in "Nobody Likes Me," all one word, on PC, or a particular button sequence on consoles, random pedestrians start to pick fights with you. This not only gets in the way in missions, but makes the once simple task of travelling around the city way more difficult, as angry sidewalk users constantly get all up in your face. You're not even safe in a car, as they run after you like you're an Uber they've left their iPhone in, and wrench you out of it should you make the grave mistake of not immediately driving away from them at 100 miles per hour. Wait, hang on, we're supposed to pull them out of cars, not the other way round? It's a great way to get the police on your back too, giving you star after star as you try to push all these angry residents away from you. Okay, a push with a bat, but it's still a push of a kind. Also, they're all trying to murder me. The most dangerous thing about this cheat, however, is that you cannot undo it, especially if you don't have a backup save and then did something to overwrite your autosave, such as getting arrested or dying. 2 things extremely likely to happen after you activate this cheat. Oh, and if you die upon getting discharged from hospital, you'll have to make a break for it. Otherwise, you're quickly greeted by a bunch of awaiting paramedics who are only too happy to undo all of their colleagues' hard work. Well, have fun playing GTA 3. You live here now.
For some reason, in the old days, it was considered the height of comedy to have cheat codes that messed with the physical properties of heads. I guess you had to be there. Classic time-hopping shooter Time Splitters 2 was no exception to this rule, and amid a raft of unlockable cheat codes, there was one called Rotating Heads, which you could activate by getting a silver medal on this challenge to use grenades to destroy 22 panes of glass, which shouldn't be too hard because there aren't even any enemies in this challenge. Well, that was a practice go. Rotating Heads mode does exactly what the name suggests, making every character's head spin rapidly on its axis like somebody's fast-forwarding through The Exorcist. Pretty funny, and indeed this cheat could have slotted neatly into the pantheon of harmlessly amusing head-altering cheat codes, if not for one thing. When an enemy's head spins, so does their cone of vision. That's right folks, with this cheat enabled it doesn't matter one iota how stealthy you are because every enemy's head and therefore field of view is constantly spinning in violent circles like a paranoid owl, meaning you will definitely be spotted all the time, immediately. This makes the game more or less impossible to play, at least in the way it was intended. With sneaking up on enemies now unfeasible, expect to hear a lot of alarms, have your cover blown non-stop, and be extremely unsettled by the way the head somehow keeps spinning even after death. This cheat code makes the whole game considerably worse, but at least the increased difficulty means you won't be playing it for long. Time to stop planning your time-leaping adventures and start planning your character's funeral. Well, it'll have to be closed casket, that's for sure. And you better reinforce those coffin walls. Don't want them drilling out.
They're killing everybody! Run!
Who? The Mokai? But they wanted peace!
Hurry! The bridge is collapsing!
Imagine a fighter jet game. Now imagine instead of flying jets, you're flying dragons. Congratulations, you've just imagined a way better version of Top Gun Maverick, or 2007 PS3 game Lair. Playing the perplexingly named knight Ron Partridge, you flew about on great winged beasts, able to grapple to other dragons in the sky to kill them and their riders, and even pick up enemies from battle only to drop them from on high. Whoa, intense! So you'd imagine that any cheats for the game would be just as wild. In fact, in the Extras submenu, there's a special place just to input cheats for the game. So what amazing cheats can you unlock here? Well, let's have a look. Turns out that one of them unlocks a video where someone is making a cup of coffee? Yep, type in a 20-character long alphanumeric code and you'll unlock a very boring close-up video of the game development studio's office coffee machine making a coffee. And yes, we're going to play the whole thing just in case something interesting happens at the end. Guess not. Okay, let's see what other ones they got. Oh, chicken! Wonder if that turns your dragon into a chicken. Or what would be cool is if it turns all your enemies into chickens and then you can barbecue them with your dragon. That'd be funny. Well, no, sorry, it doesn't do either of those things. Instead, for reasons known only to developer Factor 5, this cheat in their game plays a video of someone dishing out Indian food. With all the grace of a tap-dancing rhino, pea-speckled rice is half poured onto a plate and half poured onto the table, and it's soon joined by chicken tikka masala, so runny and unappetizing that it looks like it's already been through someone's digestive system and made a quick exit. This chicken tikka masala pot that gets served seems to be labelled for Brian K, who we have to assume is producer Brian D. Kruger. A, because of the name, and B, because you'd have to be pretty senior to get away with this bullshit. Come on, there's got to be at least one good cheat. Aha, this one turns your dragon into a car! So they know what a good cheat is, and yet...
Heather!
It's you.
What just happened?
The Konami code is probably the most famous of all the cheat codes, and much beloved because it gives you something good, usually, like 30 extra lives. So the betrayal is all the more severe when in Konami PS2 horror game Silent Hill 3, this most famous of codes abandons you when you most need the leg up of a helpful cheat or two. After all, protagonist Heather has a lot on her plate, whether it be horrifying monsters lurking around every dingy corner, or baffling puzzles, or some seriously clunky controls. Now to simply descend this ladder... Oh, in other words, Silent Hill 3 owes you a favour, especially if you've made it all the way through the bloody game. So try inputting the Konami code up, up, down, down, left, right, circle X when you start New Game Plus. You'll know you've done it right if you hear this, distinctive noise. So what does this most historic of gaming codes do? Infinite ammo maybe? Regenerating health? No, friend. All the Konami code does here is launch the game the exact same way as usual, except key character Douglas Cartland, PI, is now in his underpants.
Hold on. There's someone that wants to meet you. Just let me have an hour. No, half an hour of your time.
Hard pass, Douglas.
This is very important. It's about your birth.
Extra hard pass, Douglas. All this code really does is ruthlessly kill the vibe of the whole game, taking it from brooding psychological horror to, well, body horror, frankly. Douglas, buddy, those pants don't even look clean.
Sorry. I'll wait here.
Douglas remains in his underwear for the entirety of the game, which is now ruined by the sight of his baffling undercrackers and tie combo hoving regularly into view while everyone else tries their best not to mention it, in what is probably the weirdest thing to happen to Silent Hill since that dog ending in Silent Hill 2. I knew I recognised that noise. Good luck making it through Silent Hill 3 now that the game is ruined. Thanks for nothing, Konami code.
What should I do?
You should put on some damn trousers.
While everyone might know the game Doom, not everyone might know its fantasy clone Heretic. Heretic was another game published by id Software, the creators of Doom. Built in the same engine, this first-person shooter swapped guns for magic staffs, for those of us who prefer to eviscerate our enemies in ye olde times. And like Doom, it wasn't for the faint of heart, with imps and all sorts trying to beat you into the ground like the little wizard nerd you are. Which meant some players were tempted to cheat. Now, Heretic being a Doom clone in the Doom engine, some players tried out the, by this point, tried and tested Doom cheats. But if you tried to be one of those smart asses and typed the Doom cheat code for God mode, which was IDDQD, into Heretic, this would happen. What? No, I wasn't trying to cheat. What gave you that idea? Is it getting warm in here? Yup, Heretic developers knew Doom players were going to try this old cheat, so they made Doom's God mode cheat an insta-death one in Heretic, replacing your fun time playing video games with the camera panning to a grim vision of your eviscerated pixely corpse. Alright, what other cheats are there? Cock-a-doodle-doo! Turns you into a chicken with 70 less health points and only a light peck attack to defend yourself. Yeah, okay, that one's worse.
Fulfill your destiny.
You only have to think about the terrible life that Anakin Skywalker had, the brutality and the heartbreaks, to realise that he was always going to have that awful haircut. Your heart breaks for the lad, it really does. And the 2005 action game based on divisive Star Wars prequel Revenge of the Sith is another chance to see Anakin suffer, as he slogs through wave after wave of pitiless droids.
I was wondering when they'd show up.
And as he turns to the dark side, is forced to battle the very Jedi he once called friends. Well, colleagues. Acquaintances? Okay, we've never heard of some of these.
Sarah, Sindralig's greatest pupil has come to greet me.
Sindralig? Not ringing a bell. So if you're tired of seeing Anakin having his butt whooped by characters who barely register as canon, perhaps you might think it's time to even the odds.
You're the worst Jedi I've ever seen.
That's right, it's time to look up some cheat codes. Oh, here's one called Super Sabers. That one, please. Having entered the Super Sabers code and had it accepted, you'd be forgiven for thinking something had gone wrong, because here we are playing the game with the cheat enabled, and I don't know that there's much super about Anakin's saber, except for how super expensive it is to buy a replica one IRL for your rumpus room.
Scrap metal.
That is, until you encounter one of several lightsaber-wielding enemies and realise, oh my god, surely not.
You call that a saber strike?
That's right, the cheat gave your enemies Super Sabers. And how? Now you have to fight against rivals who effortlessly wield laser swords that are the length of an F-16, with roughly the same destructive power.
Let's see if you live up to the legend.
Not only does this cheat code make many battles in the game absolutely terrifying, it makes it very hard to remember how the story is supposed to go. After all, something tells me the plot of Revenge of the Sith would have gone very differently if old Count Dooku had been able to whip out one of these chunky boys when threatened.
Your powers are nothing.
On the plus side, at least we don't have to endure seeing Anakin fall helplessly to the dark side if he can't make it past the first boss fight. Explain that, Disney! Oh, sorry, I just got a press release. Streaming exclusively on Disney Plus, a 10-part series exploring the origins of the SUPERSABERS cheat code, new episodes weekly. Chris Pratt to play the role of Sindralig. Well, what am I going to do, not watch it?
The SimCity series is a classic one. You build a town, raise your population to city level, and then give up when all the traffic comes to a standstill. For those that want a boost to help them build their dream city, there are plenty of cheats to help you get there, including get-rich-quick schemes. But they often come with a price, such as the risky money cheat found in SimCity 4. This gives players 10,000 whole dollars to spend, but as the cheat code implies, risky money comes with a, well, risk. But what kind of risk, you ask? No, not an investment in NFTs, but something more tangible and somehow even more dangerous. See, every time you use this cheat, you have a 1 in 4 chance of an earthquake striking your city. Not the worst if you've only just started out. However, a huge money-sinking disaster if you have a real metropolis going. An earthquake and the extra 10k in your pocket is immediately lost to fixing all the damage you caused from that cheat, setting you back ages or even ruining your city for good. At least they're not complaining about the traffic anymore.
Thanks for watching this video about 7 terrible cheat codes that made your life much worse. If you'd like to make your life much better, why not watch this video from Outside Xtra, which is by Luke, who couldn't be here today, and I am standing in for, but I would like to recommend you this video by Luke if you're missing your weekly dose of Luke, in which he explains the mystery of the Mew code and how Pokemon owes everything to it. And if you'd like to watch something from Outside Xbox, which is my channel, then there's this video, which is about the funniest mini-games where hurting yourself was the whole point. So thanks for watching either or both, and we'll see you next time on Outside Xtra.